review session, Who Will Cry When I Die, book written by Robin Sharma. As you all know that Robin Sharma is one of the famous Indian authors having best-selling copies like uh, Who Will Cry When I Die and much more like this book is being reviewed by our Toastmaster Ravindra. Ravindra is working as a product manager for a fintech company. Outside of work, he has a naughty teenage daughter who always makes fun of him. His wife and him find difficult to manage his younger daughter, enjoying his life, doing things of his interest, working on his hobbies and bucket list, and he'll share more information in the forum. Over to you, Toastmaster Ravindra, for the wonderful book review.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uma Parmeshwari. And once again, good morning to all the Toastmasters and guests. Today, I do not want to call it as a book review. But again, I'm going to explain the details and contents of the book. It's rather than calling a book review, I would like to call it as a learning life lessons from the book. That's what I would like to call here. And this book is very close to me. Actually, I read it very long back, at least 10 years before, and still it had some impressions of the book on me. When yesterday, when Kavitha called me and says, take education session, I was thinking about like what to do. And then immediately, why can't I share what I learned, what is the kind of meaning of the book and everything to all my fellow Toastmasters. That's how I started. So rather than wasting more time, let's get into that. Actually, the other talks about here very with the unpleasant questions. Actually, it's not like a very favorable one or pleasant one in terms of it, but those questions will help us in terms of making some more life lessons changes and other things changes in our life. So this book, maybe I'll start with a question. Actually, it says, who will cry when you die? It's not about like the people who are attending, like who will attend your funeral. No, it's all not the people who text like fine social media text messages, or these are not about and everything. Actually, these are all talk about who will actually genuinely feel the loss of you. Who are those members who will feel that the world got little smaller, and then it's a little quieter since you are no longer in. So that's what about this. Let's take about like actually about the author. Like before I start this author, so most of you would have not heard about this Who Will Cry When You Die. But when I talk about his favorite book, actually his one prestigious book and very widely remembered and everything, is when I say that the monk who sold his Ferrari. He's the same author. It has come from Robin S. Sharma, and the same person has written this book also. Okay, why I chose to review this book? Because it's not complex. It is not like very describes about in poetic way or other things. It all talks about life lessons. That's the reason I have taken this book. So let me tell you some kind of thing like which actually it happened in my life too. So I am just comparing two funerals which happened in my village. One funeral was like it was of a very famous businessman in the city, in the village, and at the funeral, when attended, few people attended the funeral. So when they were attending the funeral, they were talking about how he made the wealth, how he has come to the riches. So they were busy in terms of raving their mobile, and then they're talking about this is how the funeral was going on. Simultaneously, like I was like after there I attended one more funeral in the village. It's about like actually a schoolmaster in the village. There were a lot of students who has come. There are some people who are like very old, like 40 years, 30 years old. They have come and they're very silent. They're weeping. And then they're talking about how he has done, how he made them to study even after the school and everything, how he helped them in terms of helping them in terms of explaining the chapters which they don't understand, and how when they are need of even the buying the books they don't have it, how he spent money in terms of the buying the books. So this is the way how he made the changes in their life, how he was present in their lives. That's how the people are talking. So totally two different funerals. One of a wealthy businessman, everybody talking about how he made money, but here it's all about like how he helped them and everything. So these are all two different funerals. Just when I reading the book, I also thinking about actually the people after when I pass on, which room or which funeral the people should be talking about me, either the first or the second. This is how the book gives a kind of impression. It gives a lot of weightage and it is a little bit heavy. So I'll make things little bit easy in terms of going to the life lessons actually. So this is not actually continuous flowing like a story and everything. This is not book and everything. Actually, it talks about like 101 stories. It's are all one pager and two pagers. So you don't need to review the book, like read the book in one single stretch. You can read one chapter at a day, or like whenever you like, 1 or 2 pages only. It is not a very bigger one, but books make you cry. Book understands you. It all think about what is the life you are making in, and definitely I say that it gives some kind of impact. You will go and review back how you are living. That is what is this book. So quickly I'll go and I'll try to put you and everything things how he structured his stories and everything. So why this, it talks about actually uncomfortable observations. Actually he says we wake up, we rush, we go to the work, and we scroll couple of pages and everything, and we sleep and we repeat. This is what we are doing for all the decades, right? Maybe just I want to ask quickly questions. Are there any persons who was in the meeting have gone through this? Ever anyone read this book, or anyone who heard about this book? I can see Ezhilarasan. Yeah, maybe immediately they can. Those people will be able to connect it. But anyway, I'll go and then I'll try my best in terms of giving at least few things from the book here. Okay, he asked the questions. Are we doing sleepwalking through our life? He also asked one questions. We are living. Are we living to work? Are we are working for living? So this is a typical question he asks us. So he'll ask us to remind how we are living. Just we sometimes we don't have the time to attend our daughters or sons PTM also, right? We'll always come up with an excuses saying that we have a office meetings, we have an office to go, and then the small kind of moments will tend to miss in our lives, right? One small birthday, one function, all these things we all come up with excuses. I have an office, right? But what happens? We are all what we are chasing. We are chasing some promotions, our some career growth, but at what cost? The precious moments in our child, our daughters, our sons' lives, we'll be missing it, right? Before we close our eyes and then open, the kids are grown. And when they grow and then they'll talk about you. On that day, that particular day, when I asked you to attend my dance program, you missed it out. Then we'll realize. And you may be a big promotion or you will be in a big chapter, like what you call in your life and everything. But those moments, you cannot get it back, right? And actually, when you miss, these are all talk about suddenly when life hits you back. Suddenly, when you notice, when you attend your casual medical test and everything, and then your medical test reports this parameter is not doing well, you have a high cholesterol, and then there is a blockage in your arteries, and it requires a angioplast, some kind of surgery. Then it hits you back. Then you don't remember next couple of days, you don't remember what promotions in your life you are running for your life and everything, and then missing all those moments, your birthdays and everything. Then you will recollect what all the precious moments in your life you missed it out. So this is what that books reminds you about. Actually, when I was reading this book, subsequently I read one more book called Top 5 Reviews, like provided, like one author in Australia, Dr. Brulin, I believe. I don't recollect exactly the other name. She was interviewing the patients who were terminally ill and they were about to die. And she was asking some questions. What you are missing? Did you have any kind of regrets? But everybody has some regrets. Top 5 regrets. And what are those, how they messed up their life and how they were running all that time during their career path, and how they missed out small moments, missing some vacations when wife asked for it, when daughter asked for a smaller kind of thing, going for shopping, all these moments. This is what top 5 regrets. It's worth actually reading that book too. Maybe I'll tell the actual book name at the end of the session. I just noted down. I'll see that and I'll tell you. So these are all about and everything this book talks about. It will hit you. It will haunt you, and it will tell you what is that you are doing it. That's how this books will give you and everything. So before that, I this is what is the essence of the book actually it talks about and everything. And maybe I will go with a few lessons. What are the takeaway from this book? I'll go. So that way, I think rather than, because this book is not in terms of as a story, it doesn't read. It all gives about your 101 sessions, 101 chapters are been written in this book. So I'll give you top 6 or 7 points life lessons what you can learn. First one is live with the end in mind. I'll repeat, live with the end in mind. Most of us, I think, from the software background, right? So always when we start the project, we'll all say, what is that? First one will say end visualization state. This is what we talk about, right? So how we want to close the project, how we went, at what time frame, what are the things we need to do, at what stage. These are all the things. Similarly, here also it talks about rather than the project, instead of hear it about our lives. It says how you want to live with the end in mind. It's all about now. Nobody like talks about your at the end. Nobody talks about what is your cadre during your career path, what you have done. Like it all talk about like how much three-storied building or a palace you are living, or what is the model of the car. Nobody thinks about it. When we are not feeling well, when you are thinking, when you are like you are need to be operated, when you are these things, when you are lying on the stretcher for operation to go, so at that point of time, you won't remember these are all the aspects. Only one aspect it will remember you, how you have spent your life. Whether you have spent your life meaningful, whether you have lived up to the satisfaction. So that is what is called like live with the end in mind. These are all the book talks about, gives about the clarity here. How you supported your parents when they need. You have spent some time. Whether you attended your daughter's school projects, when your daughter comes up to you, Papa, there is a science exhibition. I'm doing this on the science day. Please come and visit my stall. How many of you have attended? Frankly asking, maybe once in a time or 2 days you would have attended. Most of the times you missed it out, right? Yeah, it happened in my life too. I attended, but after I told you, right, this book I read in 10 years back. But last few years, I ensured that the small moments, I ensured whatever the career in my tough and everything it is going on, I ensure that I don't skip these things. I used to attend. This is how the it made impression on myself. So that's the reason I took this book for review. Second point, small daily acts build a life, not one big gesture. I repeat, small daily acts build a life, not one big gesture. It is not like, okay, I have helped one person who needs in, I donated some amount of 1 lakh or 2 lakhs or some amount, big amount of money. This is not one kind of the gesture. It all talks about how you are humble, how you treated your waiter when you are going to restaurant, how you treated your bus driver, how you treated your your office peon or watchman in your apartments, how you are treating the other people during your course of the day. So each how you are humble, each moment and everything, it all makes and everything. When you say when you are entering to the office, there will be one watchman. When you say hi, how are you, good morning, and then go, you make their life one smile in your life, right? So he is going in a hard time. He's spending like even most of the times your watchmen and everything. They are after 60 years. They are senior citizens actually. Still they want to support their life and then they are doing these extra jobs, right? And one small hello and then tell it makes their day. This is what each and every time small day and task. So there is in our Indian mythology and everything, there is a karma, right? So what you give it back and it will come back to you in a different way. So these are all something small daily acts. It all builds your life. Don't think that I will always ruthlessly I will go and then doing all the activities and everything, but I'll give one small donation, small these things and everything, and I ensure that all my sins are gone. So that is not the way. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not sure like whether I have the time, right? Maybe in case if something is a timer, I'm not able to see who's there. You can remind me, so I'll try to wrap it up soon. So I think timer, please check. Time is around 20 minutes. Yeah.
You can
Okay.
continue, sir. The time is around 15 minutes.
Okay, fine. All right. So the third point is about take care of your body because it's a vehicle for everything else, right? So during our career path, most of us, including me also, we don't worry about how what shape you are in. We always tend to run. We always tend to complete our aspects or projects. That's how we do. We don't worry about what is happening. We don't spend few minutes to ourselves. And then suddenly, when you realize, when all the things happens, and when you visit the hospital for some surgery and everything, all hitbacks. Doctor tells you one thing: you did not take care of your body. You did not do exercise. You didn't go for that 50 minutes of exercise at least per day. So your arteries are blocked. It requires an angiogram, and your blood pressure is high. All these things we'll talk about, right? If your body is not supporting you, what you can take care of your family, what you can do, it help you requires a support from the other family members. You will not able to keep up your relationships. So most important thing is not only your career, not only the other kind of things. In order to meet all the kind of things, first of all, our body should be in good shape. The way the career is important to our life. Most of us tend to ignore what kind of car I'm riding, what kind of building I have brought, where the society. This is not about it. It all talks about how your living is thing. Is it something you are taking care of yourself? you are able to take care of your relationships, your nears, the people who helped you in terms of in bringing the position? Are you showing your gratitude? So the how with peaceful you are living, that is what is more important. So taking care of your body is much more important than the others. The fourth point, it simplify. We are all modern side and everything. We are obsession with your social media, how many tick marks is happening, how many likes are happening, how many kind of things is there. A lot of information actually. We are consuming so much information during our thing life, right? And too many advertisements, too much kind of media, news, all kind of informations. If you ask me, we are into a cluttered things. Our mind is becoming cluttered mind. Our relationships are cluttered. Everything. It is all going in autopilot. Without knowing and everything, we wake up, we have our breakfast, we run to the office, and then we reach, we have our dinner, and then sleep. And then before that, going watching movies for a couple of minutes or going and everything. This is how our thing, autopilot is going. But are we looking ourselves? Are we making or simplify? How I'm going to make our relationships better? We need to make the less noise. Every 1 week, at least 10 minutes, you have to close your eyes and then see and then review for yourself. Simplify. Last 1 week, how it went on? Have you lived in yourself? Maybe I'll just give you a 30 minutes of 30 seconds time. Just close your eyes and then think about what actually you have done in the last week. Is it something what we lived in? Maybe just 30 seconds, maybe, and then I'll resume. 30 seconds, please close your eyes and then just review yourself the week. Yeah, time starts now. Yeah, it's up. Yeah. So I don't want any answers here or anything. I'm not going to take. Just you review for yourself how you lived in your life. Whether you are running for something else, you try to achieve something, or are you at your peace of mind? So that is what is important. So just simplify your actions. So that is what important. The fifth point is be generous with your presence, not just your money. Our idea that stayed with me long here as I close book is the people who cry in the funeral will not be crying because of how your salary, your job title, or your achievements. They should be crying how you made them feel, how you helped them in terms of it, how you treated them. So that's what is needed. So that will tell you and everything. Even you recollect in when Ratan Tata passed away, you have seen the kind of people how they become emotional, right? So that's the kind of thing, like that is what is called living life. And then there is a saying that is not called death, right? People will never forget about it, like Abdul Kalam. It all comes up and everything. So we need to be generous in our life, okay, not just with money. The other point which I want to tell you, maybe there's a last point: forgive quickly, love openly. I'll repeat: forgive quickly, love openly. We all think we have endless time. Do you think that we are immortals? No, right? We are not immortals. We are mortals. If you look like your life and everything, Maybe after once like you start your career, maybe at then 20 years, you will have another 30 years of active life. After that, you will get into the senior citizens and you will have all the kind of problems and comes up and everything, right? And always we think about there is a day tomorrow, but no. Here, author talks about a king who every day when he starts, he actually thinks that is the last day he is living. He actually goes on a funeral and everything where people will carry on the four people on a bed and everything, right? So that's how he lives in the day. He acts as if like there is no other day. So in case if you want to say sorry to somebody because of something happens, don't think about I have some other day. Say it right now, today itself. If you want to say how you felt in their presence, how you loved them, your it can be your parents or it can be your siblings or it can be your friends, anybody. You want to say something, don't postpone it for the next day. We do not know what it is going to happen next day. So all what we have is if you convert into number of days, it is not like something we people will say 100 years and everything. Literally we know, right? We don't live up to 100 years. Average life in India it is about 70 years. So if you look at all our average age, if you take it, it will be around some 30 years, maybe in the group now which we are in. So we may have another 40 years of life. 40 into 365 days. So that's about our 12,000 days, right? That's all we have. We don't have the endless number of days. And don't think that all everybody will be there, right? So we need to think, act now, do it today. Don't think that there will be tomorrow. We do not know what is going to happen. Especially like a few years back when I was working in my earlier company, one of my team member who was rushing from the his home to office, he met with an accident in the morning, and then within minutes he passed away. We went, actually he was a very active person in our office, works very hard and everything, and he has a family of one child and wife. We couldn't see their tears when we are in the hospital, right? We do not know. That's the how this author talks about how if you want to forgive somebody, don't think there will be another day, do it today itself. So this is all about like see, if you talk about this book, what actually it works beautifully this book talks about is the format. He, as I was explaining earlier, it's all about 101 chapters. It all talks about each session book and everything 2-3 pages only max. So it all and gives, it actually hits you back. So I suggest you read it. But if you look at, there are something it limiting ideas and everything. I don't say that these are all the ideas or books and everything is there something fresh. But what he has done is he has taken all the truths and most of us which you have heard and here and there and everything. He collated in a nice repackaging way, has done it. He packed it and everything. He beautifully presented in the terms of short stories in the book. That's how he has done. So he all tries to bring you and to understand and everything. So he most of things are all I say that it is very unpleasant, but all it makes in our busy lives, he tries to bring some kind of changes. Sometimes we need to look back how we are lived in, right? This is what he does it. So I want to give a challenge to all of us. Think about, read one book and everything, try to see and something, and maybe in the coming days, in the coming forums and everything, I want to hear. Actually, did it make sense to you? I want to see the feedback. whether it made and everything helpful for your life. That's what I want to say that. Okay. So with all this, I'll try to close suggesting, like in the beginning I was telling about the book name. I was talking about Australian author. The other book also I'm talking about, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, A Life Transformed by the Dearly Departing. This is Bronnie Ware. This is another book I was talking about. So if time permits and everything, I'll read in this year itself and then make some kind of lifestyle changes so that don't go a kind of night walking or sleepwalking. So actual do proper living. That's what I hear. Thank you. Over to the Toastmaster team audio.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravindra, for an insightful and knowledge-enriching session. It was very useful for each and everyone who didn't have an opportunity to read the book and understand what it is, because everyone is running behind something or the other. And your insights and your time on this particular book has enriched ourselves and has enlightened us towards the thinking about the end and slowing up things and also moving towards the purpose. Thank you so much.